Hey guys, welcome back to Blaze channel. In the previous video, I showed you how KARL changed the automotive industry with the help of his wife, Bertha. You can tap the top right corner of the screen to watch that video, and I'll also leave a link in the description so that you can follow up from that video to this one. In this episode today, we'll focus on KARL's wife, Bertha. She played a very important role in KARL's work. And if you are a feminist or you don't believe anything good can come out from a woman, then this video is for you. Bertha helped build this car. She drove it over a long distance and funded its production. I think I've said enough already. Please like this video and let's get into it. Bertha Ringer was born on the 3rd of May 1849 in Pforzheim, Germany. Her parents were August Friedrich and Karl Friedrich Ringer. She was the third child out of 9, and her father, Mr. Ringer, was a carpenter and master builder in Germany. Luckily, he saved some money and made sure all his children, including his daughters, were educated, and this made Bertha go to boarding school for 10 years in Pforzheim. And in the summer of 1870, she met KARL Benz and fell deeply in love with KARL. They started making plans of a future together, and they both agreed to move out of Pforzheim and start a life. Soon they were engaged, and KARL was her fiancé. KARL and Bertha started facing problems together even before marriage. Now this was around the time when KARL set up an automotive shop with a partner, August Ritter, and things weren't really going well at KARL's shop. This was because August and KARL didn't really agree on most ideas, and so the business wasn't making progress. Bertha was forced to think of a way to help KARL. She eventually convinced her father to pay KARL her dowry, even though they weren't married yet, and this dowry would help KARL buy August off from the shop and make it his own. Now Bertha took a serious risk, as in our modern day society, people are known to be abandoned or chop breakfast, in quotes, as it's called, before marriage, even without making any commitments, talk less of Bertha, who paid her dowry before getting married. But Bertha was a different kind of woman. She loved KARL and would do anything to support him. KARL set up a shop in Mannheim, Germany. The couple had agreed to move together as soon as KARL began to make a living from his workshop. On July 20th, 1872, 27-year-old KARL and 23-year-old Bertha got married in Pforzheim, Germany. Let me just say this out of context, but if a time traveler were to attend this wedding, he would be so happy because he knew what this couple would later achieve with time. Bertha was a 23-year-old woman when she married KARL and made all these decisions, so it's very obvious that she was a decisive and courageous young woman, and this character would be what built the car of the future. Bertha and KARL rented their first apartment in Mannheim and started their life together. The next 15 years of their marriage was dominated by financial problems. KARL needed money to fund his inventions, and even though his shop was generating money, it wasn't enough. Their problems became even more complex when they started having children. Their first son, Eugene, was born in 1873, and this meant more mouths to feed and more space too. Bertha and KARL were forced to sell most of the workshop equipment in order to survive. That is to tell you how bad things were for them. But despite all this, Bertha still stood beside her husband and was very supportive. She spent long hours with him in the workshop, literally, and helped him fix the machines. The couple held many discussions, and witnesses testify that she knew the machines nearly as well as her husband. Now this technical knowledge is equivalent to, or if not superior to, the modern day mechanics we have. In 1882, the couple had their fourth child, Field, And this was around the time that KARL was building his latest invention, the automobile or the water wagon. This invention needed a long time to be developed. It required countless testing and experimentation. Bertha often sat next to KARL during test drives to help with the tests, and also, she was just his lucky charm. The test drives wouldn't feel complete if she wasn't there. After some years of development, the car became much better and reliable, but there was a problem. In order for the car to be ready for public use, they had to be sure it could go long distances without breaking down, and this hadn't been done before. Up until then, the car was just used for short drives around the neighborhood, and this made Bertha do the craziest thing anyone had done in a long time. On the 5th of August in 1888, while KARL was still asleep, Bertha, together with her two sons, Eugene and Richard, rolled the automobile out of the garage and took off on a 60-mile drive to see her parents in Pforzheim. Not only had this never been done before, but a woman had never driven even a carriage before then. The difficulty involved in this trip was almost the same as sending Neil Armstrong to the moon in 1969. The journey was not smooth at all, but Bertha was ready for it, especially since she had enough technical knowledge as KARL, the inventor. The fuel used by this automobile then was ligroin, a petroleum byproduct used as a solvent to remove stains from clothes, and it was only available in pharmacies, so Bertha had to buy cartons of it and stack it in the boot or a back compartment while traveling in this automobile with her two sons. On this journey, Bertha fixed a lot of faults associated with this vehicle. The most popular are a valve clog, which she fixes by cleaning and fastening it with her linen; overheating of the engine, which she solves by introducing water as a coolant to the engine block; wearing out of brakes, which she solves by replacing the wood with a rubber in a cobbler shop. This literally makes her the inventor of the modern day brake pad and the cooling system found in automobiles today. On returning from the journey, she presents her findings to KARL and solutions to all of them. This helps the company grow and produce more commercial vehicles. It turned out that this journey was actually what the automobile needed to find out the problems and fix them. The rest of the Mercedes-Benz progress and evolution is history. A lot of things made Bertha everything